What's happening, y'all? This is the Bald Kid Nostalgic. This is SlickBlast RapCast. Welcome once again to the virtual casa. And as we will be having a special guest on, and he goes by the name of Wordsworth. Longtime veteran MC. He's been doing it for a long time. Very respected in the underground world. He's been doing his thing on a mainstream level in terms of being featured in cartoons. We're going to get into that. This should be a treat. So, and there goes the man with the plan right there, Wordsworth. So fundraising for American Cancer Society, as I am an advocate for fighting cancer. So I do that in the mix to, and there he is. There's the man with the plan, Wordsworth, right on time. Right on time like clockwork.
Yo, I try
Yes,
to
sir.
be on time, man. I try to be on time.
Man, I'll tell you, that's impressive, man. Very impressive.
I,
How are you, my brother?
I value other people's time too. You know what I'm saying?
No, and that's appreciated. That's appreciated, my brother. So, welcome to the virtual casa called SlickBlast RapCast. Welcome, my man.
Well, thanks for having me, man. I'm just trying to make sure I got everything stable. So,
No, absolutely. Yeah, same here on my end. I actually had to order a new stand because this one is a little jacked up, but we improvise, and MCs improvise as always. So we make this happen.
yep.
But good to see your mug, man. Good to see, I got to give you your flowers as I do everybody in Slick Bass Rapcast. So on behalf of myself and everybody that will be chiming on and chiming in, we appreciate what you have done for hip hop and the culture, man. So give this man a round of applause. We got to give him his flowers.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it, man.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. So we got DJ Tex ones and twos. Shout out to her as well. We're gonna have a lot of good people on, man. Checking out the show, and again, man. So there's a couple of things I didn't know. Dude.
Yeah.
Yo, you're a jack of all trades, bro.
Yeah, thanks, man. I know it's like people know what I've done up to a certain point, but then it's like if you don't, it's like out of sight, out of mind in some regards for some people, But then for me, it was also like figuring out other ways to maintain and contribute to the game, and also just think about like as I'm getting older, what am I doing to kind of solidify staying busy? And I think that's really the key to it all, is just kind of being able to be self-aware and identify other means and other ideas of making music for what? For this, for that, for your album, for TV, for this, for that. Like just figuring out how to mature and understand that I'm going to get older. That's really it.
Right.
Being honest with that.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're gonna Benjamin Button it for a quick second. We're gonna we're gonna forward to currently now of what's going on now. There's a recent track that you came out with. It's called Her. Can you tell us a little bit about that track? It's called Her.
Yeah, that's actually that's me featuring on, I believe that's Cameron's Couch record. I believe that might be his record there. But what he did is he by mistakenly named it my song, and then it came up on Spotify under my name. So it was under me for a minute. It's actually his record. But
okay.
I was explaining just how men see women from a perspective and how women may see themselves and things like that. And I really try to make sure when I'm writing these songs is giving perspectives that people can relate to, if not themselves,
Right.
friend or family member can relate to it and pass the story on. So another thing about what I do when I write is just that I want you to play what I write for anybody else too. So when I'm writing and crafting it, like that story in Her, you can play that to anybody while driving. Another reason why I don't curse. I don't curse in the music. So you can play that to your daughter, sister, aunts, uncles, and you can be like, listen to this verse and what it's about. And the Her song was really just trying to address that whole vibe of just look at her face, look at her hair, that born in despair, like, yeah, she would have never, yeah, like it's just really, um, just want to address how women are valuable when there's so much other music that you may see that depreciates them.
You know what? That's well said, and that's well said, and I like the way you broke that down because you're absolutely right, bro. There's the lack of consciousness when it comes to that, and in hip hop, as you know, growing up in the '90s in the golden era, right? We both did. There was a lot of the opposite, right? It was very. We're not going to say the word, but B's and H's, to be respectful. So I love that you brought that point up. It's an interesting and refreshing perspective coming from you, a well-respected MC that a lot of people adore because it's funny, man. Real quick. So I went to take a friend of mine, an elderly gentleman. He's a friend of mine that lives in the neighborhood. Took him to my buddy LP, who made a beat from my buddy Epic, which you're featured on its song. It's called Gambler's Remorse.
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
Yeah, those are the homies. I went to high school with Epic One, and then LP literally lives walking distance like 5 minutes away.
Out there,
So
people that don't know, I was supposed to be out there last year to perform, and then the hit because we'll be there for Epic One's record release situation, and the pandemic stopped that. So for those that don't know.
Yeah, so shout out to them too. They're good brothers, and it's funny because I was talking to LP for a little bit. He was doing his work thing, so I don't want to interrupt too much. But we had a conversation about you. It was a brief one, obviously, because he was in work mode, helping customers. But I told him that I was going to have you on, and he was excited. He was hyped, and he was nothing but positive things. And he said, "You know what, man? He's one of the few MCs in hip hop, like as far as the OGs are concerned. He's naturally a good guy. Like you could see it. Like he's a good dude." So I obviously just talking to you already for 3 minutes or 6 minutes, whatever the case is, you could already feel like the humbleness and the down to earth. So that's a beautiful thing, man. We need more of you. We need more of you in hip hop.
Thank
you. Know what I mean?
But I try to just be like mad honest, like
yeah.
If knows me, I'm gonna tell you. If you ask me, I'm gonna tell you. And then if it's dealing with like if you need a favor from me, if I can do it, I'll do it. If I can't do it, I'm gonna let you know I can't do it. So there's no I don't leave gray areas. And I think that helps a lot with who I am is because if you call me or ask me about anything, you can call me to get an honest assessment of how I feel and what it is. And I think that's what allows me to maintain and have a long career, but also a lot of respect for my peers and for me to respect my peers because they know if you ask Words, he's gonna tell you. There's no.
That's right.
And I prefer to be that way.
Yes.
I prefer to be that way because I feel whatever my answers are, I can justify my answers. I'm not just saying stuff. And I'm such an open book as far as if you ask me a question, I'll answer it. But also, I can understand and empathize with being other people and having been them. So when I give an answer, I like to really give you a truthful answer from my experiences and how I feel maybe to go about it. So that's just really how I am. So if you ask me something, I'm going to be honest about it,
I like that. I like that a lot. And here in SlickBlast, man, there's never pretentiousness. It's always positive. I treat everybody like family here, whether it's an OG MC, an up and coming MC, a graph artist, and peeps that have been on regularly. I treat everybody with love and equal respect because, as I like to say, we all eat from the same table, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's
economics. To be honest, it's everything is economics. What you say, what you do, it does help the process of the next person. We're all connected in some shape, form, or fashion. So I get it totally.
Yeah, definitely. And so look, man, like I said, the man needs no introduction. He was on the track Rock, y'all, with a Tribe Called Quest, Jane Doe, Punchline. The guy, he's a part of EMC with Master Ace and I'm not pronouncing it correctly. Strickland. There you go. For some reason, I never get it the way I'm supposed to say it. But yeah, man, you've done a lot for hip hop, and you're a multifaceted MC. And a gentleman, a homie, Tri Burrow. He's repping Brooklyn, New York, by the way. He's a homie, and Sandra's a homie from Cleveland as well.
Peace.
Shout out to the commission. Yeah, peace everyone for being on. We appreciate y'all. And I was gonna bring it up at some point, but obviously we want to bring up some of your music and celebrate it. But everybody keeps asking. Lyricist Lounge, man. You're a it was coming, man. It was
cool.
Yeah.
Part of me, but it's one of those things that live forever. So like I'm fine with that. That's fine. It actually keeps me fueled to make sure I'm still staying on point with other things. It holds me accountable too.
Yeah.
So, yeah. What do you want to know about Lounge? The Lyricist Lounge.
So yeah, so we definitely want to know a lot. So on behalf of everybody that's on and myself, so whose idea? Because you are the co-creator. So how did it come to fruition, man? Like, because MTV, remember, around this time, and I was watching at the time that you guys set it off and you guys did it, but at the time it was already converting to reality TV, if you will, right?
Oh yeah.
With the Jersey Shores, other shows, and it was like, okay, MTV's music, so now they're transforming to. But then when I saw that you guys came up with the Lyricist Lounge thing, that was a breath of fresh air, kind of bringing it back to the essence of MTV Raps, and like. It was accepted. It was for all us hip hop heads. I was all in. I was like, Wordsworth, a dope underground lyricist from New York, run it. And so, yeah, talk to us a little bit about how that came to fruition, and how did that go with MTV in terms of how you guys got it together?
Yeah. I love telling this story because it started from during the Lyricist Lounge album. If you got the Lyricist Lounge album, there's skits in between.
Mm-hmm.
So there was a one day in Firehouse Studio, all the MCs that pretty much was on that album were in the one studio together. So it's competitive automatically. You can't be that many MCs without expecting a rhyme. So
Right.
our boys, Wise Guy and Gaston, they're well known in New York to almost have footage of almost every event. Almost every event from the 90s. They're twins. Yeah. And when one brother can't make it to one event, the other brother goes to the other event and videotape. That's how much stuff they have.
Wow.
But they're well known for always having a radio and a camera back then. So,
yeah.
We're in the studio and the camera's going around. So my thought is, okay, I don't want to just spit a verse when the camera comes to me. So I'm thinking of what can I do that's different to kind of change the game. When the camera came to me, I started doing an at-home video teaching people how to rhyme on camera, and the wall became my chalkboard. So that kept going for a minute. So I'm rhyming everything. Make sure you write your rhyme, put it in a different line, and at the end you can sign when you design.
Ooh.
All this to the beat. So now you got a room full of like another 20 MCs next to me. So then they're like raising their hand, asking me questions. I answer them in rhyme. So we go back and forth. Thurston Howell will ask me a question, rhyme. And
wow.
We're going, there's a picture of everybody in that room online too. You'll see it. It had IG Often Hazardous. It has like about 20 of us in one room. I answer everybody's thing in rhyme. And I'm the teacher. So they're like, teacher, tell me how you do this and say this and that. And then I'm responding to each one. And then that gets caught on tape and it gets dubbed the professor. It becomes this like well-known, like all of a sudden, like video cassette tape of me doing this live, and it bounces around.
Right.
A fellow by the name of Jacob Septimus at the time, he was dealing with like some production ends and knew some people. He was actually working with the Lounge too at the time. He calls me up. He's like, man, come by one day to my house, man. I want to talk to you about making this TV show. So I'm like, what am I like at that time? Maybe like 21.
Okay.
I go to his house. I'm sitting there. He's telling me all this stuff about, man, this is incredible, man. This right here, this could be a TV show. I brush it off like, yeah, well, all right, man. Well, let me know when it's a TV show, man.
Right. You were casual about it. You're like, yeah, it's cool, man,
like you remember back in those days, your dream is MC, record deal, TV, movie.
Yeah.
That
Yes.
was the formula. That was it.
Yeah.
TV, movie, then maybe clothing line when like Naughty started doing clothing. You know, there was a certain pattern. So I can't
Right.
fathom skipping a step.
Right.
So he's saying that, and I'm like, well, I'm out here still trying to get a record deal. You talking about me just all of a sudden catapulting the TV? How? So I just brushed it off. So lo and behold, but maybe like a week or two later, something like that, they wound up saying, "Yo, we got auditions for putting together a pilot with MTV. They're taking over,
Wow.
so we want to do something like that, but let's come up with an idea." So they get Master Fool, they get Power. We all knew each other. So I give Danny Castro and Anthony Marshall, who are actually the founders of Lyricist Lounge, a lot of credit
Okay. Shout
because
out to them.
yeah, because they actually and whoever else was involved at the time picked the characters. We were all three different people, but we all
Mm.
boys, but we didn't hang out like that. But we all knew each other from the scene. They put us
Right.
together. We wrote a skit about going to court and like a car accident happened. And we went to the House of Blues in California and auditioned that rap sketch about a car accident happening and getting sued or whatever in front of these executives. We did that on a Friday. They called us back Monday and said, "You got a pilot."
Wow.
Yeah, that's how fast it was. Friday,
Wow.
Monday, then they was like, "Let's film the pilot," and then the pilot tested well, and it was like, "We film it first season," and then
Wow.
we did 2 seasons, man, and
I remember.
that's a blessing because like some people don't get past.
Yeah.
You know, you could look
You're right about that. Yeah.
Netflix every few months. They're talking about what's can. You can look on Netflix. Look how many shows on Netflix. There's only one season. You know, it's a huge blessing that I've had 2 seasons. So that's how that came about.
Man, that's great, man. And again, I'm glad to have been a part of that era because, times have changed, right? Times have changed, things have changed. A lot of things are politically driven, and all these things that we do not want to hear about. And times like that, you telling us a story, we appreciate it, man, because it takes us back to memory lane,
Yeah.
and it's a feel good story. Like just when you mentioned Lyricist Lounge again, congratulations for the 2 seasons. And again, like you said, Hulu, Netflix, all the famous streaming sites now, HBO Max, they don't even last 4 episodes nowadays.
Yeah, it's real. It's very real.
It's
You see it.
it, yeah, yeah. So again, congratulations on that, man. It's an accomplishment.
Yeah.
It's an accomplishment. Peabody and Sherman, dude. Another freaking, speaking of Netflix, we're going to segue into that. How did you get into Peabody and Sherman in terms of just you contributing? How did that come about?
Well, it actually starts a little bit earlier before that. So that kind of led up. I'll tell you how it led up to that. So
Okay.
me and Prince Paul, we have the same publishing administrator.
Oh.
So she gets these movies pitched to her, these TV shows and things like that pitched to her. And she, at that time, Prince Paul was actually working on the first one. Prince Paul was working on actually was Dexter's Laboratory.
Yes. That was going to be my next one. So you just kind of, I like it. Okay. Throw it into the mix.
He did Dexter's Laboratory hip hop experiment. So he already had these deals for him making music for these things. He just was like asking her, does she know any rapper that would be cool with it? So she suggested me. And
look at that.
I go to Paul's house. My first time like meeting him, go out there and he plays it. And then, I take it and I write it and I come over back to the lab again. Oh no, back to the Dexter's in the lab again. And then that became such a big deal. They made commercials for it, video for it. And then to this day, I was actually talking to somebody yesterday, and I was telling them, I was like, yeah, I did Dexter's Laboratory. I did Back to the Lab again. And they started singing the hook. And I was like, because what I didn't realize was how big that was.
Yes.
Because what I realized on my BMI, I would get that JetBlue and what's the other Southwest, JetBlue,
Yes.
all these airlines would show up on my BMI because I forgot when parents are with their kids, they put the radio station.
Yes.
So then
Wow.
wow, okay, now I see how come it's such a big deal. Um, so we do that one. That's successful. Here comes SpongeBob movie comes around. Paul is doing that one.
Man, that's
So
huge.
then they call me. Yo,
Wow.
got this bubble party thing. You want to do something for that? I said, let me write it. See if they. He was like, he's already so Paul is already accepted for these. He's just bringing me in to see if I could turn it into a full song. But he already has the beats and stuff. They're not necessarily verses. It's just like kind of instrumentals. He's in a way, and so I write the SpongeBob bubble party, and then like it was already named bubble party.
Right.
So that's why I come in and I write the lyrics, and that gets accepted. I'm like, yo, that's crazy. So now we on the roll, right? 1, 2, boom. So then we wound up doing another hip hop CD called Dino 5.
Mm.
Actually, it's another kids CD, and they actually got Paul producer is me, Ladybug Mecca, Charlie Tuna, Scratch from the Roots,
What?
called the Dino 5, and that CD is.
Wait.
And you can find that it's like so rare too. A lot of it, sometimes like $85 to buy, but it's out there, man. It's a dope CD. Another story.
Okay.
So we did that, and then years later, whatever the case may be, then another offer, DreamWorks, and she's able. So Michelle, our publisher,
Wow.
is able to say, "Oh, that's what y'all want to do. I got these guys. They did this, and this." So
Yeah.
like, so we get on the phone with DreamWorks and they let us know what they want, and I kind of had an idea of how to do it. So I told Paul there was a certain beat that I liked that was out at that time, and I was like, man, I need something like this. He comes up with it. So I write the song, I write the hook, I have my wife sing the hook,
That's
and
dope.
then they take the song, it got approved. They take the song and they go draw the cartoon, and that's
Wow.
it, man. So that gives you just some how all of that led up to currently, and that's for those that are watching. That's on Peabody and Sherman season 1, episode 2 on Netflix right now.
All right. Well, definitely we're gonna mark that down because I'm definitely gonna check it out once I'm done with the show actually because I want to revisit it. Dude, and it's funny because you're mentioning Prince Paul. Prince Paul is a household name. He's the inventor of the skits.
Yep.
He De La Soul, obviously Gravediggers. And I feel like in this sense that you're explaining the scenario with you and Prince Paul was Mr. Miyagi and you were Daniel's son.
Yep.
It was consistent. It was a nice groove with you two and the chemistry. And that's super dope, man. That it's just cool.
Paul also did recently what's on Netflix. He did I believe the assassination of Malcolm X. I think he did the movie. He scored that series.
Are you serious?
If I get a chance to watch that, he scored that.
Okay.
But the one thing Paul realized with me is that I know how to write for cartoons. See, that's a whole nother thing too, because I know how to write TV. I know how to write. So that's a whole nother skill, and what's something that I could explain and teach people about if it's something. But writing a cartoon song is different than writing your song. So once I got the first 1 and 2, he was like, man, I don't mind hiring you to do it because you know how to write those songs, because obviously we do it and it gets accepted. So so that's another skill. So I big him up for just like recruiting me anytime it's something like that. He's like, let me call Words, you know what I'm saying? Because the formula,
Yeah, you're the man for the job, and much props to you and Prince Paul for making these things happen. That's a beautiful thing, and that's why I love this culture so much, man. I just things like this, I can sit down and talk with an OG such as yourself that I respect and I admire, and that's the thing, man. Here on Slick Blast, I'm getting guys that I grew up enjoying listening to.
Yeah,
It's not just about the typical names and this and that, because there's some guys that don't want to even bother to talk or even give you a response. So I'm just like, I appreciate humble MCs that I was listening to back in the day. And not that I'm saying that you're old, man, because we're right there. You know what I mean? It's,
Good.
you get what I'm saying, though.
Yeah, I don't mind.
It was, yeah. It was a beautiful era, and I'm glad that hip hop is alive and well. Cats like you know, so many underground cats that also have mainstream success and know how to balance that out. That's a skill,
Yeah,
not
it's
right?
and it's a skill, but it's also being self-aware of your
Yes.
situation. You know what I'm saying? Like, the number one killer of a rapper's career is pride.
Mm.
You know,
You heard what he said? Everybody, look at that.
man, that's the number one killer of a lot of people's careers in anything, not only rap, anything in general
And life.
in life. Pride is like the
Yeah.
killer, if you look at it like that. And you know, to do music and understand how to write music, you know, what I feel like? I feel like in the 90s, a lot of artists hurt themselves not wanting to learn how to do other styles of writing.
Right.
I never was on that vibe. I was like, if I'm underground, I want to understand how come a Biggie record works, or a Bad Boy is doing that. And when I was doing TV, I learned about TV. I was learning all the TV stuff and things like that. So
Right.
that all paid off for me, because now, I could write stuff for TV, and I write commercial records that work on TV and stuff. So you can't your pride of like just wanting to keep it. All right, so let me explain it.
Absolutely. Break
Brand,
it down.
the brand, and as a who I am, Wordsworth, I know what people buy my music for and buy my albums for. But what I write for TV is not going to be on my album.
Mm-hmm.
So I understand the brand in my business. My business is being able to write uh, for those opportunities when needed, and then also knowing when I'm doing my album, this is what I want to present for my audience. And I think you have to be able to understand. Like, I'll write a song about making money for a TV show,
Mm-hmm.
but that has nothing to do with what I'm writing about for my album. There won't be no songs about that.
And and rightfully so, that's something you would not talk about in a Wordsworth album, because you're so multidimensional and versatile that that's what, that's, you're all around when it comes to that. You're not going to do the predictable thing.
Right.
Money,
Yeah.
money, money.
Yeah.
It's like,
but that's if I'm trying to do something for TV, then I will do.
right.
But I separate it. So like, there's songs that I'll have that people will never hear that are there for TV only, a catalog of that. And then
Right.
there's just so many ways to look at it that you have to really be open-minded and understanding that. And that's where the pride comes in, when people will be like, I'm not even going to explore doing no crazy, I ain't doing that. And it's like, nah, that's not how this works. If you're in the music business is not only the music you put out for yourself, it's the music you're making for the world, for your business. And so there's a lot of dynamics, but that pride will hold you back to keep it real. So
yeah, exactly. The cliche, keep it real, right? The whole, yeah. And it's funny that you mentioned Wordsworth, about, there's a saying sometimes. So I'm 41. So I was there from the beginning, close to it.
Yeah.
They say sometimes you shouldn't meet your heroes because you're going to get disappointed.
Right.
I won't say who, because I respect. I will not say who, because this is always positive show and everything and good stuff. But I will say I had a chance to chop it up on IG through message. I was just kind of letting them know I have the SlickBlast RapCast. I'm an MC. I love the culture. It would be nice for you to come on one of these days. Nice and subtle from my approach. It was positive, and it was like, have a blessed night. That's it. This gentleman, that I won't say who it is, he must have got the text late, because he started rambling on, a lot of negative stuff and blah, 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 and cursing. I'm like, oh, come on, man. Like, I can't even, I'm looking at the CDs that I have from this individual, and he's part of a group, and I'm like, I'm kind of hurt now. Like, damn, I never thought that this person would be like, oh, screw your RapCast and why are you waking me up and this and that. I'm like, well, we're part of the reason, the fans that brought you in this position. And then
Right.
he cut me off. Oh, well, oh, so you're trying to say I'm broke? I'm like, no, my dude. And it's crazy because I'm sharing this with you because you're the total opposite. So I'm kind of venting. Does that make sense?
Yeah, yeah, but I think that's where an artist has to check themselves. Like me, I don't have notifications on, so I have no idea when you, like me and you've been DMing back and forth. I just
Right.
gotta check because I'm trying to be on point, but also like if even if I don't check the DMs, I got the
Yeah.
interview in my alarms.
There you
So,
go.
so like I'll set it in my alarm clock because I know I'm not necessarily going back to my DMs anytime. I don't have no notifications on Instagram. I don't have
That's
notifications
good.
on Facebook. I have no idea when somebody reaching me on there. So
Right.
I don't want to be addicted to it. So it's
Right. That's a good balance.
that. And then like I said, like if somebody really needs to reach me, email me. I'll be checking my email quicker than I'll probably check the social media stuff because I'm not,
Okay.
you know, if you
That's good to know.
yeah, because if you email me or text me, then it's direct to me. But like overall, if you leave a message on Instagram, I'm not gonna see it maybe for hours. Um,
Right.
and that's just how it is. I just do that on purpose because I just don't want to be addicted to it. And then also I got things I want to get done.
Right.
And
Right.
I'm so boop, everything such going on. I'll never get my stuff done. So it's one of those things of just like this discipline. That's really it.
I like it. I like it. And it's a good tactic mentally for yourself. It's a positive cerebral thing that you're doing. It's a good balance.
Yeah.
And I like it. I recently just did that as well. Some of my high school buddies, they call me the Puerto Rican Jerry Maguire of group chats because, you know, I got a wrestling group chat, I got a hip hop group chat, I got a sports one, all in positive, in a positive intentions.
Right.
But like I did the change in notifications to like you mentioned, the same thing. Like, because there's things I want to do in the real life that I'm able to do. And later on, like you said, when you get to it, okay, I'm at the crib, I'm relaxing, I'm settled in,
Yeah.
I've done everything. So now let me look into this one because I'm settled.
That's
So
that's how I get things done because I realized um, time management is very important. You know,
yes.
time management is extremely important in order to be successful. And the more you're scrolling, the less time you have. So I'm very with the time management and, waking up, getting this done. Um, if somebody texts me while I'm writing, I won't check the text until after.
Mm-mm. Yeah, I like it. I like it.
But
That's dope.
discipline, man, that I just try to set forth within myself to accomplish what I want to do.
Absolutely. I love that's an OG strategy. And obviously you're from the golden era. So it's the mentality to have, man. It's just have a nice balance within yourself and the results will come out so much better. And that's the way I am too. I feel like I'm getting better with it. When I'm writing and then I get, the Chicago Bulls didn't get their lottery pick. And then I'm like, that ain't going anywhere. I know that that's going to be on my phone on there stuck like wallpaper. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So just got to focus on the stuff that you need to take care of. So spoken
You
by a
said
true gentleman,
you said
words of wisdom.
the line you just said. I got a line that says that. I said
Really?
not lottery pick, but I said Chicago won lotto, but lost the ticket. Had a fight, in jail and lost the visit. So when you said Chicago and lottery, I was like, I just wrote something about Chicago and lotto.
All
Great,
right, nice.
great mind, Joe.
Hey, always, bro. Always. Think
Great.
alike always. Definitely, man. Um, so I wanted to ask you, man, um, EMC. So by the way, great job as far as the project goes with these two cats. You got the Legend Master Ace
Yeah.
and Strickland. So how did that come about? And are you still cool with them in terms of consistency? Have you guys reached out to each other? Has there been a consistent communication with them?
Every day.
Wow.
Literally while
Wow.
it's popping up talking about the game and everything right now. Every day, every hour we talk about everything under the sun. Um, so it started because Ace, when and Disposable Arts came out in 2001, Ace
Right.
Ace took us on tour with him. We toured with Ace for 15 years
Really?
straight in Europe. Yeah,
Wow.
15 years from
Wow.
2001 to 2016, roughly. We was out every year with Ace. So we were we
Wow.
we were seeing so much the first 3 or 4 years. Everybody thought we should just be a group because remember we're on Ace's albums doing songs, so then we all come out on stage doing stuff together. Then
Yes.
we would freestyle together. We would do it. So now you got that four of us on stage that people are seeing constantly for year after year after year. Like, yo, y'all should do something. So we did a song called Four Brothers, and it tested real well. Ayatollah produced it, and we did like a video for it, and then it was like, yo, let's do the album. So that's how that all started. It was really the fans just like seeing us so much together on over
Right.
and touring. That's how that came about. And like,
So you guys definitely meshed well. You guys were it was a great chemistry. Obviously, you guys were the Ninja Turtles of hip hop. It was it was
yeah,
inseparable. Great minds think alike, as we mentioned earlier, and it was natural. It was not forced. It wasn't like
yeah.
yeah. That's beautiful.
We took, like I said,
That's
we talk every day, every hour. Somebody's sending some message, and we toured 15 years with no hiccups. So it's crazy.
that's super dope, man. Yeah. So shout out to you guys, EMC. Great albums. It's mindful hip hop. I like to call it. It's food for your mind,
Yeah,
substance, lyrics, context. Yeah, that's what real hip hop is. So you guys, I mean, you guys are great. Um, One of my favorite albums of yours, I revisited, when I was asking you to be on as a guest, and I do appreciate you being on once again. Um, Mirror Music.
yeah,
So that's one of my favorite albums from you.
yeah,
And yeah, it's dope, man. I revisited it, and I like to take my time with each song because you know how it is. We're guilty of it, all of us. At times, you want to hear the main hit song or whatever song in your mind is a hit. So you skip to the intro, boom, boom, track 3. Okay, 7, 8. Okay, let me go back to 2. And then it's like, no, let me just, nowadays, I'm older. I'm like, I want to digest each song.
yeah,
I want to listen to each song and appreciate the whole album in its entirety. And then you can say to yourself, okay, I got to digest that whole album.
yeah,
Because as you know, Wordsworth, like I've mentioned this so many times, and I think it's the grumpy old man in me. It's like, Spotify, SoundCloud, all these famous streaming sites. You and I back in the day, we were going to record shops. We were digging literally cassettes, vinyl, the whole shebang,
right.
Tower Records, mom and pop stores. I miss that. Like I miss it. So for me, it's like nowadays 8 albums come out in one day, fam. Isn't it nuts?
It's real. It's real,
Dude. Oh my Lord.
it's real, man. You gotta step your game up. I'll be honest, like just I remember in like 2015, that's when I kind of made that vow to myself though, of like it was so much coming out with stuff that I was like, well, let me just step my game up, being more prolific. So I vowed myself to drop an album every year. So since 2015, I've dropped an album or did something creative to make a
Yes.
contribution to the game as opposed to complain. So that was my mind.
Right.
So like I look at it, I mean, and then I just gotta look at where I'm at, my age range and where I'm at with it. Like I'm real. Like if I was 18 and able to hit send or enter and upload an album and sell it, I'll probably have 20 albums out myself. But
Easily.
realistically, I don't got time for that. I got time to make a couple albums here and there, get some videos done, upload it, get it distributed, and then also figure out how do I maximize things that I'm trying to build towards the future on top of the music. So that's kind of,
Right.
I'm just realistic with myself. I'm not trying to compete with them on that level with that. I just want to make sure I'm contributing at a high level, and that's where
Yes.
I'm at. So I'm not gonna be trying to do 5 or 6 albums and
Mm-mm.
no, I got family, I got things like that. I recognize where I am, and I still feel you can still be as dominant as you need to be. Recognize. So
Yeah. So shout out to the homie Try Burrow. Yeah, Try. He said, yeah, well said, my brother. Quality over quantity,
yep,
any time of the year, week, day, Yes.
Right, right. My
Well
boy
said.
Herb Ford is in here. He's gonna be on my upcoming album too. So look out for him. He's dope, super dope. North Carolina.
Dope. Shout out to Irv Ford. Thank you, brother, for being on. We appreciate it, man. And looking forward to hearing the collab with you in words. So much blessings to you. Um, so co-creator of Lyricist Lounge. One thing I did not know, I'm not talking about Lyricist Lounge. I'm talking about you have music credits, the shows. What is it? Law and Order.
Oh yeah, CSI, Criminal,
Yeah,
St. Judy, which is out now on cable. Uh, Hurricane Season, last season of Power. I think I said that's it. NCIS, NCIS.
I think so. Yeah, NCIS. Yep.
Guys, Criminal Minds, something else too. But yeah, yeah, we it's a group. I'm in a group called The Idea. We got a song called Reloaded that's been in man, it's been picked up in all of those different shows. Um,
Really?
yeah, you can check it out. It's called Reloaded, and
Okay.
the group is called The Idea. And the single's out. You could buy the single, download the single, go stream it, whatever the case may be. But yeah, it's been on a lot of those shows. And then the movie St. Judy, I have a song with Sticks Bones. He produced that, and it's called Raise Up. So
Nice.
that's another song there. Hurricane Season, one of the EMC records, is in that. We all right is on that one. And those at the end of the movie, which is what's dope about it. So like a Hurricane Season, when they win the championship, that's us, and I'm rhyming right there. So it's like those outro records are big in the movies because at the
Absolutely.
and then the same thing as St. Judy, it's the song at the end of the movie. So yeah, man, I just shout out to my publishing administrator Michelle, and
All right.
just like I just try to make music that I think works.
Absolutely, man. Um, so I have to ask you. I'm gonna go back to A Tribe Called Quest, the rock, y'all.
Yeah,
So like you said, you're transparent and you say it like it is, and I appreciate that
yeah,
because more people need to be this way,
yeah,
and it's genuine honesty. But you know how they used to say, because we all love Tribe, obviously, right? They're part of the foundation and native tongues.
right.
Um, you know how I don't like to believe what they say on the news or media or magazines because I'd rather hear it from the person. But you working with Q-Tip and Fife, did you see? Because in that album was supposedly the album that they were already not getting along and stuff like that. But more of a positive question: did you see that? Did you feel the love when you were working with them? And did you feel?
I
Did you
think
feel it?
I think I think what consciously, because Tip was bringing us all in. We were all going to sign a Tip's label at that time. He had to deal with DreamWorks. So he was going to have me, Jane Doe, Punch, Most, all of us on his label distribution.
Man, wow.
So we're all young, then, and he's
Up
trying
and
to
coming.
draft us onto that. So that type of stuff that they had issues wise, he would keep that from us. That's not something he would want us to be seeing. I don't think you would, if you had new artists trying to come in and you have an issue with your partner, whatever, you're not trying to bring them to see this rocky situation. And then I remember going to meet Fife too, but I met Fife separately because Consequence at that time too was down.
Yes. Yep. Q-Tip's cousin.
Yep, and Consequence lived right there. So, I met Fife on a separate occasion from Tip, just based off of Consequence. But like overall, that never was like on display in front of us, in which
Right.
like I said, we were looking up to them. I don't think they wanted to have that going on.
Of course not. Right.
We've never
Right.
witnessed that and been like, man, it was wild and none of that. It's none of that. I can never
No.
say any of that. But yeah, that was just like a great honorable moment in my life.
Would you say not as far as your solo career, would you say that that's definitely in the Mount Rushmore of memories and one of the greatest moments of your life, rocking with A Tribe Called Quest?
Yeah, I would say definitely. I got a gold plaque over that. That's my gold plaque. I got a gold so that. So I excited to have that. You know what I'm saying? Like to get a gold plaque is crazy. Um, I would say that's one of them. I did it, but then I did another song with Q-Tip by myself for the Lyrics Lounge.
Mm-hmm.
So that was dope. Me and Q-Tip doing that in the studio. So
I remember it.
yeah, I got to do that with Tip. So that's always big for me. Uh, Another big moment is really working on Black Star album with Quality and Mokes, like doing Twice in a Lifetime. Like
Man.
that's like a classic album, and then being on that album is tremendous. That those albums, uh, the Black Star album, the Tribe album, Lyrics and Lounge stuff, all that stuff has helped my career stay this long. Like I've been on stuff that is like timeless.
Yes.
That's a blessing for me. It's like
Absolutely.
stuff
Absolutely.
timeless that it just allows me to keep doing what I do. So that would be another big thing. It's like that moment of recording Twice in a Lifetime with them in the studio was super dope. I gave you something that people may not know. Me and Punch writing for Joe Pesci. We wrote a song called Wise Guy, and he had a video too. And we wrote that with track.
Wait, are you serious?
Yeah, we wrote it with Joe Pesci and everything. Wrote it with him. You like this line? You want this line? Yep.
Wow.
He rapped over the Rapture. He used the Rapture beat. And there's a video. I don't know if video you can find it. It's called Wise Guy. Joe Pesci. He had a record out. Me and Punch wrote.
So you're saying Joe Pesci the actor?
Joe Pesci the actor. We wrote it with him.
You gotta be freaking kidding me! Hey,
back when we wrote it, I wasn't on no take pictures. Now that would have been like take pictures, studio stuff. But like then it was show up to the studio and write with Joe Pesci. So me and Punch Ghost wrote that, but we got the publishing for that. You know what I'm saying? Stuff like that. But that's cool because you never know. Like whatever the case may be, I'm sure at some point that record may come out again or whatever because it's Joe Pesci. So, but yeah,
dude, you know why I'm laughing right now? So the homie tries he put Joe Pesci LOL because we're picturing him in the movies. He's always got the Napoleon complex. He's a tough guy. Yep. And a clown? You think I'm an effing clown? And then here you are with this verbal gem. Because I'm blown away.
Remember, he is that dude, and then Tommy Mottola ran the label Columbia at that time. Trackmaster signed to Columbia and did this record.
Yeah. Right.
Him and Mottola grew up, so they like, yo, you're famous. Let me put a record out. So that's all that. And then we was in the studio. We had like, what was it, like 2 or 3 days with Joe Pesci. We just wake up, go to the studio, and meet up Joe Pesci and write rhymes for him. And then he vocaled it. And he would just sit down in the chair like this and have the mic right there and sit right next to the chair. And just vocal.
Oh, this is beautiful. This is wow. You dropped a dude.
Yeah, but that's like cool stuff. I think that's cool. It's funny because I just been watching Goodfellas, and it's like stuff like that.
That's damn, man. Let me tell you, man. You've worked hard for it. So let's let that be known first. But you've been blessed. You've been genuinely blessed. And let me tell you, man. Not too many MCs can say that they've been on SpongeBob, wrote a track for Joe Pesci, worked with a Tribe Called Quest when Phife was alive. All these gems of life situations. My brother, damn. This is what we do at SlickBlast RapCast. Because, other shows, as the old school saying, too cool for school.
Yeah.
A lot of cats are like that where I study. I see different podcasts, and when there is an OG legend in front of you, they try to play it cool, like, oh, you got to play it cool. You can't be yourself, in other words. Like, I'm like, nah, we ain't doing that here. We're celebrating somebody that's contributed to the culture as much as you have. So when you come out of the blue and say, hey, nostalgic, yeah, casually, you're just chilling, you're like, yeah, Joe Pesci. We just kind of wrote a song for him. Yeah. I'm like, okay.
I got another one. I got another story.
Go for it.
Having a cipher with Kobe Bryant.
Oh my!
That's crazy.
I'm gonna
Yeah,
I'm gonna.
that was very crazy. Having a cipher with Kobe Bryant, man. Uh,
Oh my God.
Kobe was getting busy too. He got busy. They actually did a Grantland. You know Grantland, the the journal, whatever Grantland. Uh, they did a report on it. You can like look it up. Kobe Bryant career. They interviewed me about it, and me and the cipher, and they talked to me about it and everything. It's years ago, but Kobe was dope. Kobe actually before because he was signing Trackmaster around that time too. That's how
Yes, he was.
right.
Yep.
I used to be around Trackmasters, which is how I got the Joe Pesci and all that other stuff. So met Kobe, super cool dude, and he was on when he rhymed. Then he rhymed like cannabis.
Interesting.
Yeah, he was doing the commercial records because he's Kobe doing commercial, but he actually his favorite rapper at the time was Cannabis. So
Wow.
so I remember he was rhyming. He said, "I quantum leap into the future so I could battle myself." Like he was saying,
Woo!
that's what he was saying. And his man Brody was in the cipher with us too. So that was
Yeah.
man. Yeah, that was dope. So those will be so many moments, but I remember having a going back and forth with Big Pun too. Me and Pun going back and forth.
Oh my
Me,
God, dude.
my boy Don, my boy Hoffa, he'd go Don Hoffa, but we went to college together. He knew Jazzy J, you know,
Mm-hmm.
legendary Jazzy J had a studio.
Absolutely.
He was recording Pun songs for the album before Pun was even known in the world, and it's him and Cuban Link in the studio. So Pun comes out the booth, and we sitting there, and he's like, "Yo, let's rhyme." They throw a beat on, and me and Pun go back and forth, and it's like crazy.
Oh my.
Yeah.
Yo, I can't.
So it's a lot.
I'm blown. Yeah. I'm lost for words, bro.
Now it's crazy stuff like that, man.
Damn.
I recall, man, that it's just like those moments that are like, wow, you know.
And it's funny that you mentioned Kobe. Rest in peace. In my opinion, I mean, I'm born and raised Chicagoan. Obviously, I was spoiled and blessed with the Jordan era. But still, in my opinion, this is my opinion. I respect everybody's, but Kobe is still to me Michael Jordan 2.0.
Yeah, yeah. He's a iteration of him.
Exactly. Yeah. Rest in peace, Big Pun. I can't. So yeah, Big Pun to me, that's another guy. He should be celebrated more. The rapid fire flow, the versatility, the charisma, and the fact that you got to freestyle with that guy. I mean, that's
Boy was
bro.
there, and Cuban was there too. I brought up the Cuban one day because he was there, and Jazzy J Studio. We were just going down there just on some my boy Zulu Nation, so that he knew him from there. We didn't know of a Pun or Cuban Link at the time. They was just recording. I think in that he recorded "You Ain't a Killer." You know that was
Yeah.
recording that in that studio, and then he came out the booth, and then we had a cipher. So that was dope. But yeah, man,
Wow.
some of those moments.
Okay, so I got a good one for you, my brother. I do this so far with everybody that's been on the show as it's still new and it's growing. The baby's growing. Um, Dead or alive. Now that we God rest his soul, Pun.
Man.
Dead or alive. If Wordsworth right now, dead or alive, or you go into the DeLorean, who are you working with if you had the choice, dead or alive? You can name three MCs. It could be anybody that you respectfully admire that much
I like
and not get tired of them.
I like the Roots. I would love to do
Oh
something,
yeah.
man. Um, I would probably want to do something maybe. I like to do some type of R&B stuff too, man. I want to
Oh,
R&B stuff. I'm not sure with who, but like a her Erica Badu type, a neo soul type of album. I would love
there you go.
a neo soul album, just straight up, just somebody singing all the stuff, maybe neo soul, and I'll come with the bars. Um, I got to do something. I want to do something with Elzai. Hopefully,
Yes.
yeah, that'll be dope.
Beast.
Yeah.
Yep.
Um, so that'll probably be like right now on my mind. Maybe that right there. That's kind of the direction of where I'm at with it. Cause like I would love to do like an R&B type album though, with me just doing the bars, but like that neo soul type of album with me doing bars.
A- Absolutely. Neo Soul is feel good. It's phenomenal.
Yeah,
And I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna tell you who I can see you with on a neo soul album. Tell me if you like this scenario. She's from Philly. Segue into the roots. Joe Scott.
Yeah, I would love to do something like that. That's what I'm saying. Like something like that.
Yeah,
The best of both worlds. But neo
yeah,
soul vibe. And I just write the bars. I would love to do something like that because those are the things that if you're doing music, you got to start thinking of other ways to do music and ways to transition and kind of be timeless and also be heard other ways and other places. So I would love to do a neo soul type of album with somebody like that. Um, I think that would be dope. Like I've done a lot of rap albums and stuff like that, so I don't mind that. Uh,
right. The homie Try said Wordsworth and Erica Badu produced by Apollo Brown. Not
yeah,
bad.
something crazy like that. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm
I
saying.
like that.
Bro.
I
Like,
like that. It's a nice mix, you know?
yeah, I like something like that. That's what I'm talking about, man. Like you gotta try things like that. That's my mindset. Um, I did. I talk about? I don't know. I know the Graham has like an hour. I don't know how many minutes are left.
So it's funny. Another great minds think alike moment between Wordsworth and Nostalgic. So that's what I wanted to mention. I want us to go out in a nice, smooth sort of way. There's 56 minutes and 20 seconds, but I want to make sure if it does do the countdown, I'll warn it. I'll let you know.
Okay.
Because I don't like that when we're getting into the groove of things and we're
Yeah.
getting into it and excited. You know how that works.
Got a lot of other stuff to talk about too that I ain't mentioned. So I just wanted to make sure I mention certain things.
So you know what, and that's another beautiful thing. Well, the homie Mocha Only, the track that I had sent you, that was produced by the homie LP that produced Epic and your song.
Right.
Mocha Only, he kind of made a point like, let's do this again. This is therapeutic. He's like, Nostalgic. I want to be. Let's do it again.
Right.
It doesn't have to be a one-time thing. So that the same goes for you, my man. You're always welcome here, and anything that we didn't break down. And we can always do it on another segment when you have the time. So
yeah,
that'll be a beautiful thing, man.
yeah. But you got any other questions or something like that? Like you have? Want me to break?
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. So EMC. Back to them. Do you plan on? Have you guys been talking about making a new album?
Yeah. We've been fishing with some ideas and like producers and stuff like that. So we're on it, thinking about it. So, playing beats, listening to them and stuff like that for sure.
So, dope. Thank you, my brother. He says, great interview, Nostalgia. Hey, I appreciate you, my brother.
Super dope.
This is, again, this is a blessing to have MCs that I like in real life. And that's why I ask you guys to be on. Because again, like I mentioned earlier, a couple of cats were like, nah, man, you only got 150 followers. I'm like, I don't define a human being by their followers. I define by your heart and just your intentions. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I appreciate that, man. Real quick, I think you would appreciate this, and I think I mentioned it to you. So Elvis Sensei of the Artifacts and we just dropped the track together.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm just waiting for my homie Southpaw. He produced the track to kind of master things, but it's something I know you'll appreciate it, man. It's a soulful. I call it like a soulful boom bap track because it's soulful and yeah, man. So I'm looking. I would love your feedback. Once the song is released.
Got it.
You got everybody on the Joe Pesci train now. Look what you done did, man.
Why? But I do want to mention I got the book out. So for those that don't make sure you get the book. It's called What Words Are Worth, Volume 1. It was actually the top 10 new poetry releases on Amazon last year. So make sure you get that. What Words Are Worth, New Beginning. It's basically it's me breaking down the entire album, every 4 bars, telling you what I meant and why I wrote it. So it's definitely worth getting it. For those that don't know too, I'm a teacher and I teach music. I teach music production, film production, and TV production at school. And this year, our students won 6 out of 11 awards: Best PSA, Best Documentary, Best Music Video, Best Movie Trailer, Best Instructional Video, and Best This Show. So those are the things. I posted up the trophies the other day too on my page. But look out for a project with me and JF. He actually has a project out right now called Believe It or Not, but I'm working on like a EP with him. Then I got a solo
Oh,
that's pretty much done, and I got another project with PA Dre that I'm working on too right now at the same time. So it's all three different things. What's up, Light Skin? How you doing, man? So yeah, it's a lot of that. Also, go check the Champion Sounds album out right now. That's the big thing. Me and my man Pearl Gates, produced by Quincy Tone. So check that out. But yeah,
yeah, I saw that, the Champion Sounds. I'm definitely gonna look into that and dissect that as well. So it looks like we got saved, man, because we didn't get arrested by the police cops of Instagram.
yeah,
So
but yeah,
so
man,
we can breathe. Yeah.
I'm open. I'm open to So any other questions? If anybody got questions on here too, you can ask me anything, man. I'm pretty much open.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So we wanted the people that are chiming in right now, if you got any questions for the homie Wordsworth, please ask and fire away, because he's already blown up the spot with Kobe, Joe Pesci, Big Pun, and SpongeBob,
Yeah,
the Decepticons, G.I. Joe.
yeah. But I've been teaching for 6 years. For those that don't know, I teach for 6 years, and so I teach at a middle school. And like I said, I teach TV production, music production, and film production. So I teach about. So I say that to say all those years of what I did culminated into being used in that capacity. So that's been very helpful. What's up? What's up, John? What's going down? So it's been very helpful to you know, sometimes you think like all that stuff I had learned is gonna just stay on that path of rapper, right? All that
Right.
actually allowed me to actually be like, yo, you could be rapper, teacher, and now that allowing to get these accolades and things like that helped me to kind of solidify some other things in the book and all of that. So it's always about just trying to look forward. So um, I got some other books coming out too that I think I'm trying to get turned into movies and stuff like that. So
Wow. Wow. I'll tell you, man, I was an extra in Chicago Fire. It's a show called Chicago Fire here in Chicago.
my wife's favorite.
Um, Nice. So I've been an extra on that a couple of times, only because a friend hooked, he blessed me. He's a fireman here in Chicago. And I enjoyed doing that, man. So wink, wink. If you ever have a project, think you're homie nostalgic, man. I'm here to do whatever. I'll be a janitor. I'll be a server. It don't matter, man.
Yo,
Just throwing it out there.
Borough, I don't mind the ghostwriting thing, to be honest, like that. It's not really like it doesn't bother me, to be honest. So it doesn't bother me. My favorite battle rapper will probably be Rum Nitty.
Ooh,
Yeah, Rum Nitty. I love Twerk though too, but like he's inconsistent. But I might say Rum Nitty and Geechee. Um, those would probably be my favorite battle rappers right now. Rum Nitty and Geechee. I got the app. I pay for the app monthly, so I'm heavy with the battle rap stuff. Um, so that's kind of where I am with that with battle rappers. So yeah, I'm heavy with battle rap stuff. I like Rum Nitty, Geechee. Uh, who else is really like that? I like Easy the Block Captain too. So
easy to block, Captain.
Easy the Block Captain is dope. Yeah, he's real dope.
Okay. Okay. A lot of dope MCs he just mentioned as far as the freestyle tip. He was asking, so okay, it looks like you got another question. No, I'll probably skip. I was gonna add, I wanted to congratulate you, by the way. I wanted to go back to the teaching thing. You're helping young minds, you're molding them. That's a huge deal. So congratulations on that, man. I wasn't aware of that. So that's a
Yeah,
blessing.
just for those that don't know, man,
Yeah, man, that's great.
I really do think it's very important to know a lot of this stuff because people that know me from rapping. So I have a BA in language arts. I have a master's in secondary education, and I have a master's in
Wow.
music business. So all of those things I went back to school and I got them even at this stage and age. So for those that are like, I don't know about going back and this and that, you can go back and do it. Everything's online, and you got to kind of look at what are you doing it for? For me, I'm doing it because if I look at the trajectory of my career, all of that stuff I did led to me being able to teach it. And then when I started teaching, I went and got these other accolades. So as I get older, it could be a panelist, spokesperson, hired to do this and that. So there is a method to the madness in a way. So you
Right.
gotta figure out what your direction and reason for what you're doing is. And I would just kind of maybe suggest that you question yourself with that stuff and just ask yourself, if you're doing music, what's the other way to go with it? Like, um, so me getting all those things, there is a reason why, just me identifying with where I'm at career wise, age wise, and things like that. I'm a realist. So if you ask
Yes.
me about, yo, you think I should do this and that, I'm be like, yeah, I think you should do that, or whatever. Like, you know what I'm saying? So that's how I try to make sure that all these things that I'm doing, people that look at me as a rapper be like, yo, he rapping and rapping, but it's like, yo, I'm rapping, but I got all this other stuff I do to solidify a future with outside of rapping and things like
Right.
that. And don't question yourself, finish, go for it.
Yeah, that's inspiration. You saying that. I've been thinking about that. I've been thinking about going back to school and trying to do something that I enjoy, which I do enjoy talking. You know, it's one of my things that I enjoy doing, networking, socializing,
Yeah.
sports, man. I'm in love with sports. So a sports broadcaster, a radio show, I don't know, something like that that can separate from the hip hop aspect, but like you said, balance yourself out. Because when you're a jack of all trades, you just become not only important to yourself as a human being, quality wise, but um, your family. It's all the elements that go in together, and I admire what you're doing, man.
Yeah, I
It's great.
think just when you're planning, you get older, you start got. When you're younger, you kind of moment. When you're older, you start. When you're younger, it's about moments. When you're older, it's about memories. So you got to
Yes.
plan a little bit differently. Is releasing vinyl important to me in this era? Vinyl,
Good question.
vinyl is important if you have um, a market to buy it. So what I mean by that, right, Kim Rex, is the fact that I've seen friends invest in vinyl and then they don't have shows. They don't
Mm,
have a distributor. So now they spent thousands on making vinyl, and now they kind of are stuck with a lot of vinyl. The vinyl
mm.
investment, if you make sure you calculate how many pieces you want to do and can you move them. And then can you cut your losses and make up the balance of the vinyl money you spent through your digital sales and maybe CD sales? So I never overshoot. So that I pretty much, I would say not even pretty much, every album I've recouped because I don't over I don't feel myself like that. Like some people may get too arrogant and then they
Cocky.
overpress. Yep, and they overpress. So what I would do, Chemrex, with that is, if you're gonna do vinyl, just look at what's the amount you spent and how much you need to sell to make it back, and do you have the audience for it? I don't think you should be pressing up vinyl to brag about you're able to press up vinyl.
I agree with that. That's well said. Let your work speak for itself, right? And that's how you can articulate that. I wanted to ask you, man. I'm a big merch guy. I like to support the artists that I, grew up on, obviously, and that I still admire to this day. Do you have any merch sites
Yeah,
for like T-shirts and all that good stuff?
yeah. Wordsworth on Threadless. On there, it's different. On Threadless, how I do it on there is I have different designs on there, right? So
Okay.
there's I believe it's KV. I don't want to get it wrong. I think maybe K Bev photo from Chicago.
Okay.
Um,
K-Bad Photo. Okay.
if so. But I'm saying that to say what I do is I had my other boy, he drew a picture of me animated. K Bev had a photo. What I do is if you got art and stuff like that of me and you give me a high quality image, I'll upload it on Threadless as a high quality image, and then people could order on demand. So that way, it's on demand, print on demand. And when you open an account, I split the proceeds automatically. I put your name in there 50-50. So if somebody sells,
Wow.
buys my shirt, your money comes to you, my money comes to me, and I just because people give me these things as gifts and doing them, and then being an artist, I understand what it's like not getting residuals for some things and people that we're living off of what we do. So if you do, so that's on my thread list. So any any shirt you buy on thread list that you see on there with my boy Drew something, the K Bev photo, people have bought that shirt. It's like a live photo of me in Chicago performing at, I can't remember the spot right now. It's the spot with the
Metro, Subterranean.
two rooms, the small room and then the one on the left with the big stage. I think the Locks was in there before, or it's
Double door.
yeah, double door. You could cross through the double door in the middle. Small stage, real low, and then on the other side is the big stage. Can't remember the
That's the double door. Yep, that's the
yeah.
double door.
The corner is the parking lot across the street was the fish spot and something else. I can't remember
Yes.
the exact spot, but
Yes.
it's a well known spot. But anyway, he took photos of me there, and I put it on shirt. And when people buy that, you get money. I can, I'm not the type to be like, yo, thanks for the photo, and then I go uploading that. I try to be like mad as fair as possible with everything, like. So that's how I roll. If you do songs with me and music with me, I do everything evenly. 33 and a third. If it's three of us, 25 if it's four of us. Because I just know what it was like for people and stuff like that. So, if shirts are selling, it's nothing like seeing stuff like that, man. Even the guy that does all my artwork, my boy Mike B that does my album covers is the same thing. I do the same thing. Upload the album covers, and then
Yeah.
if a shirt sells with an album cover, he's able to reap some of that too. So if y'all want to support stuff, you can go there and on Threadless, Wordsworth Threadless, and then also have Bandcamp where there's shirts there too and stuff there too that I mail out. It's more like the CDs and stuff like that, which I have at the house, and vinyl. I got vinyl.
Okay. Well, I'm definitely gonna be copying some of your stuff, man, and I would love for you to sign it too, man.
Yeah.
That would be mad love.
Mumble rap and trap artists say nothing in the music. I'll be honest.
Good question.
I don't listen to that stuff. That's not my style. But let me tell you, I
Right.
make those songs because those songs sell for TV and movies. So
Mm-hmm.
I make those records. I just don't have it on my album. What would Wordsworth listen to at 14 today? I would probably be the J. Cole, the Kendricks. That's what my students listen to at that age. So I only could say I think I would be in that same ball game with them.
Right.
J. Cole, the Kendrick. What else is out?
Logic. What about Logic?
I may have been a Logic fan at that time.
Right.
I'm trying to think of who else would I have been. I like Lil Baby. Lil Baby.
I haven't heard of stuff yet, to be honest. A lot of his stuff.
Lil Baby is more commercial, but he could rap. He's more like real commercial, but I like Lil Baby. That's what he says.
Okay.
But I probably would be in that bag of where those guys are. Maybe what's the other guy? Skip me.
Not Travis Scott. Because he's not. Yeah, I'm trying to figure out too, man.
No.
Polo G or something like that. My nephew mentioned Polo G. Corday. Somebody said
Corday. There you go. I would probably mess with Corday.
yeah.
So you
Afro.
huh?
Afro.
Yeah, I'm probably mess with Afro.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mess with that realm. That's kind of how I am, So if it was me 14, it would be the same realm, just different rappers.
Exactly. Right. That you could understand and that are lyrical and
Yeah,
it's kind of like the same tone of what we listen to.
yeah,
So
same realm.
yeah, great questions by the way, fellas. Great questions. And by the way, man, can you please once we get out, if you could send that, you could DM me the link again for the shirts because I'm probably gonna forget, man.
Yeah.
I want to make sure I do that. I take care of that. So the name of your book, because I just ordered the freaking tripod stand, so I might as well order your book as well to support. What's the name of the book again? Just so everybody could refresh.
Yeah, What Words Are Worth, Volume 1. Yeah, What Words Are Worth, Volume 1, New Beginning. And
Okay.
based off the album New Beginning. So strategically, I chose that album because that was my shortest album and I wanted to write a book. So I said, let me do the shortest album, write a book based on this. And it's all the lyrics in there, and I break down every 4 bars, what I meant and what it's about, you know. What's up, Don?
Okay.
Donnell just produced something. Donnell, that's the guy, that's my man right there. He's the one that produced this entire album, actually.
Shout out to Donnell, the homeboy. Wow.
Just talking about the book. This is one of my best albums. If you ever get a chance to listen to that, he produced the whole album. Donnell Smokes, man. It's
Donnell Smokes?
One of my best albums, man.
Very cool. Very cool.
So that's what the book is about and stuff like that. But yeah, I'm just trying to stay busy. Got a lot of things I'm working on and just being prolific.
Yeah, man. That's a beautiful thing, man. All right, well, cool, man. It looks like nobody has any more questions. Wordsworth, man, I can't thank you enough for being on SlickBlast RapCast. You've been a breath of fresh air. I love your energy, man. You're a very subtle, humble cat. And blessings to you educating others. I trust that they're going to be in great shape because you got a multifaceted gentleman as yourself educating younger minds. They're in for a treat for the whole year coming up and moving forward.
Thank you, man. I just want to contribute.
Absolutely, my brother. So yeah, man. So yeah, we'll definitely keep in touch, man. You know, again, thank you for what you do for hip hop and the culture, and the Joe Pesci thing. I'm definitely gonna. I'm gonna definitely on the post. I'm gonna make sure everybody knows about Joe Pesci because that's super cool, man. That's respect right there.
Cool.
So, you said you and Punch, right? Punch, you were the ones responsible.
Yeah, we wrote that. Trackmasters produced it, but me and Punch wrote it.
Wow. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen.
Peace.
We have the one and only Wordsworth, my man. Have a blessed night. God bless you and your family, and we'll chop it up soon, man.
All right, y'all be safe.
Be safe. Peace, man.
Peace.
All right. There you have it. I mean, what more can you say? Thank you. Thank you, man. For everybody for being on. So I set a fundraising thing up for the American Cancer Society. So whoever donated, thank you very much. We appreciate that. The proceeds will go out to them. And man, what can I say? This has been a phenomenal show. He was a joy to chop it up with. He's a class act, obviously. He's an educated individual, and he's done a lot of great things in hip hop. So mad respect to Wordsworth. So we appreciate him being on, and thank you everybody for being on as well with me. I'm the Bald Kid Nostalgic. We'll do this again soon. By the way, before I bounce out, speaking of Afro, the MC that I mentioned, he's to me like I feel the leader of the new school when it comes to the young MCs. Afro is just a beast. He is a beast. So I have some cool news to share. So I have Afro is going to be a guest on SlickBlast RapCast. We just confirmed it today. Very talented individual. R.A. the Rugged Man, one of the illest underground MCs of our time, is the one that brought him out to become, put him out there. And now he's been doing his thing successfully. He made an album with Marco Polo that was produced by Marco Polo. He's been on R.A. the Rugged Man album, and I got to hear R.A. Afro's verse on the new Artifacts album. So anyway, that is my next guest. And then we have some local guests, MCs. They're a duo called 1773. They go by Wisdom Uno and Jane Ogona. So gonna see both July 17th. Oh, that's dope. Very dope. So once again, I thank everybody for being on. I am the Bald Kid Nostalgic. This is SlickBlast RapCast. I'll see y'all soon. Much love. Be safe out there. Peace.